Well, hello there. It's been a while. And welcome to the start of a new series, hopefully, if you guys would enjoy it. So, I've been going on during my Galaxy series about a possible new series, the Race War, where I'll put the four races, the humans, the elves, the orcs, and the dwarves, all against each other in old classic challenges. And for today's episode, to get it all started, we will put the four races in the Four Corners map and see who will survive. The surviving two races will be the first two in the next week's episode for the official tournament to begin. Now, without further ado, let's place the races. What we'll do, we will place 10 humans in the top left, 10 elves in the top right, 10 dwarves in the bottom right, and 10 orcs in the bottom left. But before that, we need to make sure they all get their villages up so we can give them the appropriate size. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back to 1 times speed, and already they each have 10, and this will be how it goes. After 150 years, which I have set to only the Age of Hope, so that there is no disadvantages of any kind to any of the parties. But here's what's going to happen. After 150 years, I'm going to drop the mountain border that separates every single nation. And then they're going to fight it off to the death until the last two are alive to determine next week's episode. And starting in the year 2, let's go. So for the humans, we got the Great Ned. The Great Ned. Let's find their king. Paco? Oh, that's really Spanish. I want to name him Ned. For the elves, Otnor of Earth. I'm not going to change that because I don't know what to do with that. The Ancient Onam. The Ancient Oman. And what's the king's name? There Auror. Ser Oman. And the orcs, we got Riz Oz of Death. Aaron. One of the worst names, but honestly, it's funny. So we're going to keep that with Death and Aaron. Kind of like how Aaron Rodgers' career is dead. Oh, I thought that was funny. Alrighty, we're going to speed up to 5 times and let the civilizations build up. Well, let's see how they're doing. The Great Neds has they're tied for the most population with the orcs. Now they don't. But they were up there for a while. The dwarves, as usual, are falling behind, as well as the elves, where the orcs and the humans are actually starting to get up there a lot. What are all these dots over here? That's a lot of chickens.
Look at all those chickens.
Oh, I remember that meme. That was funny. Oh, the dwarves actually caught up in population with a population of 30. They're outdoing the orcs. Hopefully that's not just because they're running out of land to go on. Now, if you guys carefully look at this map, they're only able to build docks on the sides, not on the borders, like where these are. And that happened accidentally. Yesterday, when I was making this map, I legit spent an hour working on it. And it's been fun and tedious. Oh, but this is the thing that's going to really put everything in the high gear. Alliances. Oh, the Great Ned it just tried to join the Strong Legion. That's actually a really good name for dwarves and elves. But yeah. Yeah, the dwarves are falling behind again. They need to get up a second village. Every other nation has done it, and the elves are really increasing their population. They're like 20 over the Great Ned, 10 over the Riddaz of Death, and 25 over the dwarves. But it looks like the Great Ned and the Riddaz of Death are planning an alliance, which will be interesting when we drop the borders if that will still be the case. We're at year 21 of the Age of Hope, and we still got 130 years. Oh, the alliance didn't even go through. So it's still the Strong Legion. They're the only alliance on the map. While doing some test runs of this map with the Thanes, it was something I found weird always happened. Most of the time when they would make alliances, it was the humans and the dwarves against the elves and the orcs. Which helps when you have a mass population and a mass, army versus the beefy boys and the average Joes. Which makes sense because Ned is just like an average American name. I think. Who knows? I'm not too sure. But the elves setting up their... the elves aren't even the first one to set up a third colony. The orcs being the first one to do that. But now humans are getting that as well. They got a... I never noticed before, but right on the names of each of the capitals, they got a little gold outline on each side. Ohil, Panat, Octo, and Aesor. The elves' names are always really unique in some way. The dwarves did get up their third colony, though. Most of them sticking to the borders of the water. But the dwarves seem to be moving more inland, as well as the elves. And the Riddaz of Death are just all over the place. But it does, based on how we can see it on the map, it does seem like the elves are expanding to more land than anybody else. But this is going to 150 years, and it's only year 33. So we'll see how that goes. Oh my goodness. The orcs just set up 2 more colonies. Now they're going to get a real population boost. Now, if you guys have any ideas for the tournament and what maps I could try and make for this, go on and tell me in the Discord, and who knows, if you ask, I might even put your name as part of the series. Say you want to root for the humans, I'll name you after the humans. I'll name the nation Kingdom of Blank. Just depending on if you guys want to do that. Because I know it's interesting to get little cameos and videos. I was actually in a YouTuber called Stimulated. If you've heard him, I think most of you who are subscribed to me are also subscribed to him. So that would make sense. And if you'd look at his series called, Pavverse, which Galaxy was based on directly. More like indirectly, but still, it was a nice ripoff, basically. Which I got a lot of subs for. It was nice. It was a good series. I like doing a weekly series like this. That's why I'm doing it again with this Race War tournament. But yes, head down below into the Discord in the description. Dear God, I can't speak today. I am a little sick if you couldn't tell. But, yep, head on to Discord, and we'll see who wants to join in. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to get to Sonic speed, so this will go a little faster. Because we've already seen the main development. But, wow. It is currently year 52 in the Age of Hope. We got 100 more years to go. We're going to do a quick little montage. No way. Currently year 82 in the Age of Hope, 30 years past where this montage started, and the orcs have a rebellion. I think after they conquer that, I'm going to turn rebellions off. Because that takes a lot out of it. I probably should have thought about that. I'm going to do that now. No rebellions. So they're still going to go to war, and we'll see who takes over better. Because depending on who takes over... Actually, how's it looking? Oh, the Red Oz of Death still has plenty more population than them, so they'll easily take them over. The Elves, on the other hand, they've nearly taken up their entire cubicle. As well as the Dwarves, but still, their population's still lacking. What about the humans? How are they doing? Oh, the Great Ned, the humans, are actually on par with the Elves and the Orcs. More on par with the Orcs, but not the Elves. The Elves are just surpassed. Oh, never mind. The human population boost just happened really big. It's the baby boom of year 120. We still got 30 more years, which that'll just go by real quick. Then we'll drop the walls. While they do that, how are the alliances looking? Oh, the Great Ned and the Red Oz of Death. They have no alliance, but then it's just the Strong Legion, the mix between the Dwarves and the Elves. Oh, we only got 10 years. I'm going to slow it down to 5 times speed so we can get at a more accurate place. But let's check in. How are each of the people doing? The king? Dead. King? Hey, this is still the same king. Because this world is only 142, and their king cannot have died yet. The elves still had the same king. That's actually pretty interesting. Now, right before we get started with the walls dropping, another reason for this series, or game, is to determine what race is the best, and specifically at what. We all have our pre-existing thoughts and stereotypes on each of these races. Humans being mid, elves being sluts, dwarves being chunky, not sluts, and orcs being populous warriors who also die easily. Though they don't. They have the best health, honestly. It honestly doesn't make sense. They really need to nerf the orcs a little bit. Or nerf the orcs or buff the other species. And we're only 1 year away till the walls drop. And it is year 150 in the Age of Hope. And it is time to drop the walls. Now this is going to take a little bit because I got to do this manually. Alrighty. The walls have been dropped. The water is set. And we'll see what happens now. So far, it's very anticlimactic. It's just trading going on right now. But hopefully soon, someone will start to declare war. Huh? I'm going to have to zoom in on that because I could have sworn I just saw a boat, that one to be exact, drop off people in the middle of the ocean. Which is weird, because literally right before I started to film this, there was a WorldBox mini update, and that was a thing that was said to not happen. I'll find it, and I'll screenshot it, and I'll put it right here if I can find it. But legit, that was supposed to not be a thing, where they don't drop off people in the middle of the ocean. But yep, we're just waiting now to see who declares war. I don't want to go Sonic speed, because then that might just pass by all the war and stuff. Actually, you know what? I will put on Sonic speed, just so we can get it started. Okay, Let's get it going. It seems the Rid As of Death have declared war on the Great Ned. We'll see how this goes. The orcs gotta board their boats, but before I do that, I always gotta do that because it's a whole lot easier to represent how each faction is doing. The elves have large armies. They do also have 13,000 population. The Great Ned nearly has 11, and the Rid As of Death have 11.5 hundred. Not thousand, hundred. But, oh, look at all those lines. Look at those lines of all the soldiers. They're going up there pretty fast. Oh, but the humans as well. They're also going to their boat. Now, before this gets going real quick, I'm going to check on the war. Clash of Broken Future. Interesting name. But, yeah, that makes sense. Well, actually, the humans aren't that far behind on warriors, but they are behind on population. But the orc warrior is like 3 times the human warriors. And they're dropping off soldiers nearby where like these massive armies are spending their time. Oh, this is going to be intense. 2 times speed. There's just so many pixels. They're all just dying. Oh, good, not me to do that. But with their soldiers gone, well, at least most of them, here are some, again boarded onto a boat, but here are some humans attacking the orcs. The orcs just dropped off more soldiers. They're wiping out, they wiped out the village. And now they're heading in towards the mainland. It does seem, though, that the humans are destroying some territory of the orcs. But the humans are severely falling behind. Humans even setting up their own village over here, which they should not be doing. They need all the soldiers they can for fighting. The elves are planning to break their alliance with the dwarves. This will be difficult for them then. Oh, they're both doing it now. That's just great. The orcs are just wreaking havoc on these border nations. Well, not nations. But they're boarding their boat again. Why are they doing that? They're on the conquest of victory and they just landed in the capital. They landed in the capital. But the humans, they still have their village inside of there. Oh, and the strong legion of the orcs and elves, not orcs, dwarves and elves just got dissolved. Now, if either of them declares war, they won't have the help of their allies. But the dwarves are nearly at 1,000 population. But the humans are getting wiped out, honestly. They got big armies that are getting wiped up here. And the capital's gone, and they're building their own villages here now. And the orcs are boarding their boats again, except for they can't because of the armies. Why did those humans have to send their armies there? They distracted the armies from leaving. They were going to wipe out the village otherwise. But there are more human warriors over here, but they're getting wiped by the orcs. The elves are planning war and the dwarves are planning war. Elves are planning war against the orcs. And the dwarves are planning war against the orcs. It's going to be an all-out world war against the orcs. And that's going to be good. They're going to speed it up to 5 times. We're going to kick it into hyperspeed. The humans, under 600 population. I was having high hopes for the humans. But it's going to be hard. Now it is official. It's a full-on world war against the orcs. Instead of World War Z with zombies, it's World War O with orcs. And the elves sent in like nearly 300 population, near worth of army here. The orcs are going to fall. The dwarves are sending in their armies as well. They're landing in the southern area. Oh, they also got some big, like, 100 armies over here. The dwarves have really good army. And the dwarves and the elves are setting up new villages on the human island. This is intense. Because if the orcs are getting wiped out. They're just getting swept across their territory. Their villages are just getting wiped. And more soldiers are on their way. The orcs did get some soldiers in this territory, but it will be rebuilt very fast. Though they did land a lot of people over here. But the dwarves will survive, as they always do. The capital, though, is getting wiped. The only one to not be touched so far is the elves. Because and they're planning peace, of course, those wusses. They just need to send in more armies before they do anything else. And the dwarves. If stuff like this happens, I might just turn off diplomacy, and once the borders drop for any of these, I just declare war for them immediately. So that it's just an onslaught of attacks. But the dwarves did set up a new colony over here. That will help them if they do get in another war where they'll have a little bit of a distraction for the orcs. I completely missed it, but there's no more wars. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to take Spite, and I'm going to give it to all the nations. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to press play. And they're all at war. And we'll see how the world survives. Also, for good measure, Sonic Speed. We're going to see how these last. Honestly, the door. Never mind. We're just going to watch the entire world burn. It does seem like the humans are surviving a bit, even they are losing population though. The elves, they're deteriorating, even though no one's in there. Oh, yep, there are dwarves in their territory now. Everybody seems to be doing just fine, except for the humans. The humans are just falling apart. Mainly due to the elves, but definitely they're going to get wiped. Did I turn diplomacy off? I did not. Okay. I gotta do that again. I gotta spite them, because I am stupid. Well, now they can't not be at war. So, we'll see who wins. Montage time. Big breakthrough. The dwarves are under 500 population again, with armies from both the orcs and the elves inside of there. Though they do seem to get pushed back now. as well as the elves, they have a village on the human nation. But the one and largest nearby village, 40 strong, while very big, is not attracting any attention because of proximity. But the that village just got wiped out. And the orcs are trying to set up their own village on this rock. Welp, we're seeing it here. The dwarves are under 70 population. And of course, as I say that, there are no more armies here. But the orcs are landing in the elves. The Great Ned is under 250. But the dwarves, they were about to be wiped out. Well, where did all those armies go? Oh, there it is. Yep, the orcs have a large army in here. And they're about to wipe that out. And the Great Ned, most likely, is next. Oh, goodness. Finally, our first elimination. And it seems the dwarves are not out. They're still in there. Which, I mean, good for them, but still, this should have ended a long time ago. We are literally 600 years past where this started. And it's just... Oh, come on! They have just as much land as the Great Ned, but the Great Ned has, like, literally 200... No, not 200, but, like, literally 100 times the population. There we go. Finally. Now, the dwarves have been eliminated. And it does not look good for the humans. But that is still up till the end. And we'll see how this goes. In year 820 of the Age of Hope. This is taking, honestly, longer than I thought it would. Especially if they're all spite at each other. But the Great Ned is falling. They are under 60 population now. With plenty of elves here to suffice for the killing blow. It just keeps going up. And they're out. Well, that's just good. Never mind. They're still here. But yeah. How? They keep sending in like an army full of 100 and then they all just survive. No. Stop that. Okay, I need to find this guy. Where is this guy? Here he is. Oh, that would be why. 920 health and 81 years old. I'm putting this in 3 times speed. I'm going to see how they... Well, how... Albino. Isn't that like the Ben 10 evil... Like, the evil... what is it? I'll show a picture of him on the screen if I can find it. No. No, I won't do that. But he had a child. Okay, that's just great. Where's the army? That guy's almost dead. That guy's at full health. Wow. Finally, We're getting nearly 200 people. Oh, Albino became the king of one person. And he's dead. Finally. Now they wiped out the final human. There are no more humans. It is now just orcs and elves. And knowing how this world has turned out, 712 years later, after the walls have dropped, there is finally 2 factions left. And honestly, this was to probably be expected. The elves with their mass population and the orcs with their ferocity. So they will be the first 2 species up in the race war tournament. Join the Discord and give me suggestions if you have any ideas of what maps I should make. And for now, we'll leave these 2 to fight on for eternity. Goodbye.